Good morning all. I thank IMA and 7 Star for giving me opportunity to discuss on this topic. I, Dr. Sandeep Anjankar, will be sharing my experience about mucormycosis. Since last 2.5 months, we all have come across a lot of news regarding black fungus and eye removal. So my topic of presentation is eyes to be or not to be. With collective effort of Dr. Vidya Dashputre Madam and mine, at 7 Star Hospital, we have come across a lot many cases of mucormycosis with orbital involvement and has given rise to a question in our mind, I to be or not to be. I don't have any financial interest. Here we can see several publications suggesting orbital exenteration and enucleation for the mucor. So I not to be, but still there we have some hope. There are certain publications suggesting retrobulbar injection amphotericin B for mucor. Yes, I to be with amphotericin B. At present, total number of patients seen at 7 Star Hospital for mucormycosis were 130, out of which 76 patients had eye involvement. Out of them, 10 patients has bilateral eye involvement and 2 patients with the bilateral fungal endophthalmitis. 1 patient's eye was removed. We also found that mucor can be seen in both COVID as well as non-COVID patients, mostly in post-COVID 7 to 14 days. We have also found that patients with non-diabetic were also having mucor. These are certain signs and symptoms: eyelid edema, periocular discoloration, chemosis, proptosis, sudden proptosis, ophthalmoplegia, diplopia and blurring of vision or sudden loss of vision. Staging, as was suggested, proposed by IGO, stage 1 as nasal mucosal involvement, stage 2 as paranasal involvement, stage 3 orbital involvement and stage 4 CNS involvement. But we found that peribulbar or retrobulbar injection works well in stage 3 only. Stage 1 and stage 2 don't have any added advantage over TRAM. Prophylactic peribulbar injection amphotericin B don't have any role. Inject even if there is a slightest doubt of orbital signs or symptoms. There won't be any harm. Irrespective of vision, please inject if it is required. Diagnostically, we do transnasal endoscopy, MR and KOH culture. Eye involvement, angio invasion or increasing clotting factor can lead to infarct or orbital apex syndrome, which leads to ophthalmoplegia, disc edema, retinal vascular occlusion, ocular ischemic syndrome. So why retrobulbar or peribulbar injection? As amphotericin B via blood flow won't get into necrotic avascular tissue, and large concentration of the drug can be given in smaller area. So preparation: 3.5 mg per 1 ml for TRAM, 10 mg per 2 ml for peribulbar injection. I will be presenting certain case scenarios. This is a case of mucor with orbital apex involvement with ptosis. Ptosis resolved post FESS and peribulbar injection amphotericin B. This is another case where you can see rapid worsening of the disease on the very next day of admission. This case I have seen in another hospital. A 54-year-old male with a sudden DOV in right eye, superior hemifield loss, right eye fundus picture suggestive of subretinal abscess of around 2 disc diameters in the inferior arcade, and left eye has suggestive of subretinal lesion in inferior temporal quadrant of half disc diameters. In the view of suspicion of mucor, MRI brain orbit and PNS was done. Patient was advised intravitreal amphotericin B in both eyes, considering it as a fungal endop with hematogenous spread. This is a CT scan of the same patient showing fungus in brain. This is the eye examination, and this is a retinal examination with suggestive of endophthalmitis in both eyes. Patient underwent FESS neurosurgery with intravitreal injection amphotericin B. Unfortunately, patient was not able to retrieve from the ventilatory support. This is another case showing improvement post injection. This is another case operated, showed ophthalmic involvement. Transnasal orbital decompression was done with peribulbar amphotericin B. Here you can see serial photographs of improvement we were able to save the patient's eye from exenteration. This is another interesting case where you can see orbital apex syndrome with compression pathology over the optic nerve. Pulsations can be seen. Early decompression helps in saving the vision in such cases. In this case, you can see a right-sided inflammation with the compression at the orbital apex with optic disc edema. In this case, you can see right-sided central retinal artery occlusion with disc pallor with no PL vision, basically due to compressive ocular pathology. In this case, patient had sudden swelling in his left eye. MRI was done. MRI was suggestive of optic neuritis with perineural sheathing and extraocular muscle thickening. You can see a orbital fat abscess over here. Due to non-availability of liposomal amphotericin B, I decided to give him Cresemba and patient improved drastically post injection. This is the last case, post Muger treated case 3 months back with exposure keratitis, poor Bell's palsy and 7th nerve involvement. Patient was treated by Dashputri madam doing a lateral tarsography. Patient is happy with eyeball saved and good vision. Cornea was healed post-op day 7. So my take-home message is early and aggressive treatment, good results. Peribulbar or retrobulbar amphotericin B helps to prevent orbital spread of mucor. Advanced cases, try with orbital decompression or orbital fat removal. Final call for exenteration or enucleation should be reserved. Thank you for kind hearing.